Welcome to Anime Casuals Extra. I am Lucky.
Johnny.
Michael.
And that was as casual as it gets. So this is a little extra video off of our other one. If you have not seen our favorite female protagonist, that's what this is referring to. Go watch that first. So Michael, go ahead and take it away.
So whenever we're talking about like our favorite characters, or I want to start like kind of bringing up just to expand your knowledge, our knowledge, because we all have different tastes and different. Even just the three of us, and we've known each other for a long time. We have almost wildly different tastes when we met each other. Like I didn't know any of Lucky's anime. I knew part of it, Johnny's anime, and Johnny didn't know my anime. And then and then Lucky and I were like, okay, I guess we know some of each other's anime now.
Yep.
And then slowly we've been like catching up on each other's anime, which I think is wonderful because there's so much anime, so much. So I kind of want to ask a question that's like, what other female protagonists were you guys interested in? And the biggest reason that inspired me for these questions is especially female protagonists. Well, they're not my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Because Lilan kind of just grabbed me.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the other video. Mine is Lilan. The characters of Ruby are really kind of like, because they're four strong individual female leads that... The biggest reason why I didn't choose them is because their story's not over.
Yeah.
And all of our stories for those female protagonists, they're short stories, but their stories ended.
Yeah.
So you know exactly why you like those characters. Why I feel like the characters in Ruby, especially, they're maybe halfway or mostly done with their run, but they're not done. So I can't say they're my favorite because I don't know what's at the end.
Yeah, that's like I messed that ending up.
Yeah. So what are some of your other favorite females? Mine was Ruby from Ruby.
Okay.
While thinking about that, I came up with like a list of 5, and I'll just talk about mine while you guys are kind of thinking and contemplating. I had 2 or 3, and we'll see if I remember them all while talking about this. Tanya from Tanya Saga of Evil. She's like just a little girl who is thrust into basically World War II and goes to dominate.
Okay.
Like she is strong magic and she flies around killing people, and it's like it's pretty. I won't say it's epic because she as a character is that great. She's not. But watching like a little like 10-year-old girl run around and like kill a bunch of dolls and wreck shit is like hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll put that out as my like kind of first alternative while you guys are.
Yeah. Well, the one that I was gonna choose, because now that I'm starting to think of it, is she definitely is the protagonist of the story. Is I don't remember exactly her her name precisely, but she's from the anime that I was talking about. I can't understand what my husband's saying, and her husband is this hardcore otaku guy. And so what's up, Vegas? What's your favorite female protagonist? Anyway, her husband is just like this hardcore otaku. Like within the first episode or two, like he's looking at like some anime with like this pretty girl on it. She's like, what are you watching? He's like, shut up, this is my waifu. And she's like, I'm your wife. What's going on? So it's literally so it lives up to its name, and also it's like they're 3-minute episodes. But man, does it make you freaking feel for these people? It really gives you like a slice of life.
No.
That's literally like slice of life right there, man. Those 3-minute clips, and it's really weird because her and her husband do a lot of negotiating and that kind of thing in terms of trying to, because she has her own faults. She's a bit of a drunk, and she's the one that works mostly. He eventually gets a job at programming, so he's mostly at home. Yeah. But she'll come home and be like super hammer, and she'll be like, get in bed with me, baby. She in a sense she puts on the pants of the relationship in that sense. But it's always kind of cool because her husband goes through a lot of things that I feel like I've gone through in relationships, is where you don't feel like you're man enough to be with this woman, that kind of thing. And she kind of encourages him through some aspects. So that's where he finds a programming job. And because it's not something like, he's not one of those people that's going to go to a construction job. He's not one of those people that's going to go to the 9-to-5 stuff.
Yeah.
But he actually in one of the episodes he shows her his paycheck at the end of it, and he makes like a bunch more than her from just programming stuff because he's working with like a bigger company and everything. But yeah, I really like her because she kind of sticks in there, even though it sticks in it with him, even though like. Her family's not like the biggest fan of him at first, and in the very beginning of it. In the very beginning, it shows them getting married, and this guy's just as they're getting married, he's like, "I'm never gonna be able to make you happy," and she looks at him, she's like, "Well, I'm here on this altar. I guess that's kind of every woman's dream. I guess that makes me pretty happy right now." I was like, shit, that's a keeper right there. You keep that woman, man. But yeah, I'd probably choose her. I couldn't really think of any other ones that off the top of my head that could be considered protagonists for the most part. Most of them are supporting characters in some sense, or they're a villain, which is a good idea for a video. But yeah, can you think of anything, Johnny?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember my entire short list because it was like 4 people.
Start with the big number.
Well, one of them was Yamada. That was a close one.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yamada's first time.
That's a super fun character.
Check out other video on
series.
Yamada's first time.
Hey.
Yeah. When I finally upload it, I will upload it soon.
And then there was I even wanted to do I don't think I'm actually gonna say it right. It's the Shimoneta. God, what was it? What was it called? A World.
Where dirty jokes don't exist
Yeah,
or something?
I think that was it. And I mean, she was a fun one that I wanted to do, but that was kind of a weird line on, who's the protagonist there. But I strayed away. But I think my second choice that I decided today I would have gone with was actually the new one on Netflix, Dragon Pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, super new.
I'm not even finished with the anime, but I'm really digging all the little quirky things this character does. With other characters that are just kind of... She's kind of spacey, almost, I guess, kind of Akane level.
Seeing some tropes here.
There's a pattern. But, there's a part in the anime where, certain characters are kind of butting heads, and, one of them is in the bath, and, contemplating, brooding to herself, like, man, what's wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear the main character's voice, too, interchanging at the same time, but you don't see her change, and then all of a sudden they're both just sitting next to each other, like, when did you even get there? Like, oh, sorry, I just started talking and I don't even notice things. And I mean, that's what's super fun about her, and she's got a lot of, here's a word I've never used, gumption.
Oh, wow.
To herself.
That's a little over casual for me, man.
I'm sorry. I'm just
these words.
But, yeah.
Anime intellectuals over there, man.
I'm only on episode 8, and, episode I watched today was really good, and Dragon Pilot.
I got one more.
Yeah.
Because I just want to shout it out. Go watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
That's
It
right.
is just that if you need to warm your soul, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to go into the story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little story about my brother. I told my brother, I was like, hey, I'm watching this Dragon Maid anime. And he's like, oh, God, what are you watching?
It's gonna be a hentai.
That's what he was like. I was like, no.
Just stop your brain a minute. Just listen.
Just listen. And he would not give it a try until I sat down. I was like, watch the first episode, and he's like, oh wow, this is kind of heartwarming. It's kind of about a family. And I was like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you.
Listen to me next time.
If you want to warm your soul, go watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon. It's just a slice of life about lady living with dragons.
One more that I wanted to mention. I cannot remember her name right.
thing.
One more thing. Hiya! But one of them was because we mentioned it, but I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go into it. But I do remember this from the childhood. Was when we were talking about Spirited Away. I can't remember the main girl's name, but man, that was the first animated movie. I think I saw it when I was still in maybe middle school. I think it came out in 2006, I want to say, but I'm not completely sure. But I think I was in middle school or something like that, and I remember watching the whole thing, and I was like, that was art. I was so young, but I was like, that had made me feel so many different emotions, and it also made me just because nowadays we're living in the world of sequels. Everything's tied in. There's always a sequel, but that one kind of gives you at the very end of it, kind of tugs at your heartstrings a little bit. Yeah. But it also kind of gives you a little bit of closure, but not enough for you to be like, oh man, It gives you that kind of feeling left over of all the things that just happened, and you're still trying to digest it and everything, and yeah, to this day, I think that's one of my favorite animated movies. I mean, that's just because, like I said, it has a lot of just it was one of the first animated movies that I'd ever seen, like a feature length animated movie that wasn't like a Dragon Ball movie or something like that, like the Broly movie, something like that, like a legit movie. But yeah, it was really really good. And that character, just seeing a normal girl, how she would take on, not take on, but how she would go through living like in a world like that, like that's crazy. Whoo, man, I'd be crapping my pants already.
And boy, does she start naive at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah, she learns today though.
Yeah, she learned.
Were there any other ones that you guys wanted to throw out in there? Some Sailor Moon action.
Well, here's a really old one, which if you're a big fan of old anime and like the actual animation since all drawn, it's kind of rough now. But my brother introduced me to one when I was like 10 or 11.
Okay.
Elementary school somewhere. Magic Knight Ray Earth. It's super RPG, like JRPG fantasy. I explained it to these two a while ago, but it's one of those. It's just like it's always hard to get into old things. It's like I'm playing an old video game. It's like, do you want a retro today or do you not want a retro?
Yeah, especially when it's a couple generations back.
Yeah, it is a couple generations back. It's like Slayer's Trigun level, like back then. It's just like three girls. They get transported from Tokyo, literally on Tokyo Tower, and then just fall into fantasy world, and then they become the heroes of the land.
Oh.
And here's the twist: there's mechs in it, so that's why I would say to watch it, because that was the biggest twist of I guess it's a little bit more on the Sailor Moon side. While Sailor Moon deals with some things, to me, from when I watch it, it's a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Until it gets dark. And this one is very lighthearted, and then about halfway through it goes boo, and it gets like real dark real quick.
Damn.
And then robots come out, and when robots come out, it's great.
Shit happens, man.
Magic Knight Ray Earth, it's pretty cool. Other than that, I could list off a bunch of more female protagonists, but not much more that kind of really tugged at me and like were influential.
Yeah. So okay. So this is our extra video, guys. We'll probably be doing extras of each. Expose. We're gonna probably be doing an extra video for each one coming up. Just to just lay on that content. Just throw it out there, man.
Get it in there.
Volume. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, we're Anime Casuals. Keep it casual.